Welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K23 Next Gen. In today's video, we have another offseason rebuild, and today we have the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers went 35-47 over this past season. It was good enough for the 11th spot in the Eastern Conference, so they just miss out on the play-in by one spot. This will be a draft lottery team, and this is a team that definitely has some promise. They have an incredible young player in Tyrese Halliburton. They're going to have a decently high pick in this year's draft. They have really good surrounding pieces to Halliburton, and honestly, I think this team might just be a star away from actually being in the swing of things. So, not necessarily contention with some of the top dogs in the East, but I think just a couple moves away from potentially having this team back in the playoffs. A couple things before we do get into this video. As always, if you guys are new around here, have not yet subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit that sub button real quick. Stick around a while. We'd love to have you. Secondly, I'm just looking at my phone right now in terms of the teams we have remaining. After this, we're going to have the Atlanta Hawks, the Washington Wizards, and the San Antonio Spurs left to do in terms of offseason rebuilds that we can currently do, because obviously we're not doing the 8 teams that still remain in the playoffs. Secondly, if anything crazy happened in the NBA, not that it probably would over the past day or so, yeah, I didn't see it. This is actually being recorded like Monday, like early afternoon, and that's because I know for a fact that my Wi-Fi will be out tomorrow. So I'm getting ahead of things. Want to make sure I have a video for you guys. Just wanted to let you know if anything crazy happened. I didn't see it at this point. But yeah, man, we got a Pacers rebuild today. I love Tyrese Halliburton. He's an incredible player. Let's try to build around him and get them a championship. All right, so we've officially arrived at offseason number 1 out of 3. There's obviously some work to do with this team. Now, I've mentioned it now, I think 3 times. I'm a huge Tyrese Halliburton fan. I think he's an incredible player. I think he's a star in this league and will be for a very, very long time. That being said, he can't do it all himself, so we're definitely going to have to get him some help. Let's get into this roster. We just went over Halliburton. He's not going anywhere. We have pretty decent backup point guard options here with Andrew Nembhard and TJ McConnell. I don't think 37-year-old George Hill is going to be here a very long time. We will see. But yeah, 2 decent options to back up Tyrese Halliburton. The shooting guard spot, we have Ben Mathurin. Just came off a pretty impressive rookie year. He was the 6th overall selection out of Arizona last year. Most likely will be starting for me. I know he's just not going to be a 6th man for me. I just don't really see that at 21 years old, already an 81 overall. So if he can develop well, there's a very high potential, good chance, I'd say, we have our backcourt set for the entirety of this video. We have Chris Duarte here, who's coming out of his 2nd season, and he's 26 years old, which is a really weird phenomenon to say that, you know, a 26-year-old in today's NBA is just finished their 2nd season. It's just weird to see, but it's I guess it's interesting. It's a one-off, that's for sure. Buddy Hield, who's like a sneaky 30. I also didn't realize he was 30 at this point. We'll see what we do with him. We have Aaron Nesmith, Celtics legend here, as our backup small forward, only 23. Power forward spot is probably the weakest, if you will, on this team. Jordan Nora, Jalen Smith, O'Shea Brissett, and James Johnson. I don't know if any of these guys are going to be my starting power forward for this video. We will see, but I'm TBD on that one. And then the center spot, I'm a big Miles Turner fan. He's a really underrated player still, in my opinion. I mean, he's starting to get a little bit more credit. And obviously his name has been in, you know, trade rumors forever for Indiana because they haven't been, like, actually good in a minute. But, like, I don't know. He's 27. He's on a pretty good contract. I don't really feel like I have to move him. He's a great defensive center, can shoot the ball. I don't know. We'll see. And then we have Isaiah Jackson. Then we have Daniel Tice here, another Celtics legend. So there's definitely some good pieces here. We're not even close to contending right now, but there's definitely some moves we can make to potentially get ourselves closer. So let's take a look at the draft lottery right now. We are currently projected to have the 7th overall selection. Maybe we can get a little bit lucky. Time will tell. But I'm just going to sim the lottery. We end up with the 8th overall pick. We actually bump it down a spot, which is not great. I can live with it, though. Rick Carlisle is a competent head coach. I'm not going to say he is I don't know, because he's not a terrible head coach. He's a good coach. I don't know if I have him up there with, you know, the Eric Spoelstras and the Steve Kerrs of the world. I don't know if he's quite that high, but he's not a bad coach. I'm going to give him another shot. We will see. If we get to the point where I think we should be going further in the playoffs than we do, that's when I'll probably look to move on. We have the 8th overall selection. We also have 25 from the Cavs and 28 from the Celtics. We have 10 and 25 in round 2. So we have some options if we want to consider potentially moving up. The unfortunate thing is this is not a great class for power forwards besides Victor Wembanyama. You have Jarris Walker here, who's not a terrible option. You have Taylor Hendricks, but none of these guys are really changing anything major about this team. They're going to be guys you fill in. And so I'm TBD right now on what exactly I want to do. There's a world out there where maybe I try to get Brandon Miller because Buddy Hield is not a long-term answer for me. I think we all know that. Cameron Whitmore is also an option. So I'm assuming Brandon Miller is going to go number 2. He tends to go number 2 every single time in one of these videos. So if I want him, I have to trade up to that number 2 selection. So I'll do it if I can find the correct trade. I'm not going to overpay, though. I'll either see you guys with that mover in the draft. The Rockets own the 2nd overall selection. This is every single draft pick we have this year, both 1st and 2nd round. I don't think they're going to take this straight up for number 2. I wasn't really expecting them to. In terms of players we could potentially throw into a deal like this, I'd rather keep Buddy Hield for now. I don't necessarily think he's going to 100% be on this team next year, but I also don't want to just give him up for nothing. And it's weird to say nothing when we're getting a potential franchise player, but you know what I mean. So how about Tice? You want Daniel Tice? I didn't think so. And then how about, there's got to be something else in here I could give up. I might be willing to move on from TJ McConnell, and I say that because if we look at our point guard situation, we have Nembhard, we have Halliburton. I don't think McConnell is really going to be here. So I think I could be content with moving him. I don't know if they'll take this. They do. All right, so we go ahead, we make that trade. We didn't give up way more than I honestly wanted to, and now we have the 2nd overall selection, which is honestly what I was hoping for. I don't think we're necessarily going to get anything, I don't know. Brandon Miller's a very, very good player, and sometimes he's really, really good for me in these videos, and sometimes he's just kind of another guy. So I'm going to take him, obviously. He's the guy I wanted. He's the guy I got, but we'll see. He's 100% starting, obviously. We'll see. He's a 79 overall. We obviously just took him 2nd overall. Team player options here. So Halliburton, yes. Nesmith, yes. I'm bringing back everybody. This is not a realistic rebuild. Qualifying offers, we have none, and then we're going to look to free agency. So as we know, our one weak spot right now is that power forward position. In terms of our free agents, it's just Osei Brissett. If I'm looking at this free agency class, it's not a great class, but there is an obvious power forward here who's pretty good, and that's Kristaps Porzingis. He has 2 offers right now, one from the Spurs, one from the Pistons. I don't know. We have the money to go out and do it if we want to do it. It's just a matter of fact, do I think he's really... I might make the move. I really might, because I think with him, we could definitely be back in the playoffs. So, you know what? I'm going to give a max contract offer to Kristaps Porzingis, a player option as well. I'm hoping he'll take it, and he does. And Kristaps Porzingis is officially here. And we got our guy in free agency. That's the guy we obviously just targeted, and that's the guy we ended up getting. So I'm feeling pretty good right now. Osei Brissett I'll bring back, and then worst comes to worst, I can just trade him. Again, not realistic. So, yeah, cool. Happy to have him back. So let's take a look at this bare bones roster right now. We're very comfortable with our point guard options. I'm comfortable with Mathurin and Duarte, I think. I'm most likely going to have Miller starter. Well, he's 100% starting. And then have Hield come off the bench for at least a season. I like that 3-point shooting. Again, he is 30, so he's creeping up there to that age where regression does start to hit. I maybe could keep Nesmith for a little while and then eventually maybe get him into the rotation. But let's see. What's the rest of his contract look like? He is going to be expiring after this season. So maybe I just look to move on. And then the power forward spot, I'm a big Jalen Smith fan. I really am. So maybe could keep Jordan Nora, who is also expiring after this upcoming season. Jalen Smith has a player option, which in all likelihood he'll decline. And then I know I just re-signed Osei Brissett, but I really didn't need to. So I know we're doing a lot of things right now, and we're talking about a lot of different players, but ultimately I don't need all these guys, so I'm just going to go ahead and make all these moves and hopefully go out and, I don't know, what did I do? I don't really want to move Jordan Nora. I like Jalen Smith, though. I really do. I'm going to stand by that statement. Okay, that's a first-round pick from the Bulls. Sometimes that's a good pick. And then Osei Brissett. I know I just signed him. I won't take a first. I'm just going to take a second from somebody just because I re-signed him and I really didn't have to. I kind of felt scummy just kind of signing him just to trade him for a first-round pick. So not going to do that, but we have our 10 guys moving forward. This is a new and improved-looking team. These are the exact kind of moves I was hoping for. I like this group a lot. I'll see you guys at the start of year one here in Indiana. After what I would call a successful offseason, we've officially arrived here at the start of year one in Indiana. We have 2 new starters on this team in Brandon Miller and Kristaps Porzingis, and ultimately, I really like the way things are coming together right now. So we're not quite up there with maybe some of the top teams in the East yet, at least in my opinion, but hey, 2K has definitely surprised me before in some pretty big ways. So we'll see what ends up happening, but here's how it's going to look. It's Tyrese Halliburton, Ben Mathurin, Brandon Miller, Kristaps Porzingis, and Miles Turner. The bench unit's pretty decent. And Buddy Hield, Andrew Nembhard, Isaiah Jackson, Chris Duarte, and Jalen Smith. I like it a lot, man. I'm excited to see how year one goes for us. I'll see you guys at the end of year one. It was a successful first season, in my opinion. We had a great record at 53-29, and ultimately, we're going to be in the mix of things here in a pretty good Eastern Conference. Jason Tatum is your MVP. He averaged 35 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Tremendous season from him. Victor Wembanyama obviously went one pick before our selection, and he wins Rookie of the Year. John Wall, 6th Man of the Year. Wow. I don't know if I've ever seen John Wall win a 6th Man of the Year in this game. That's crazy. Giannis wins DPOY. Tyler Hero, Most Improved. JB Bickerstaff does take home Coach of the Year. So, full standings right now. We end up as the 3 seed here in the East. We're going to be taking on Miami in round 1. Take a look over here at the West. It's a pretty good Western Conference. Take a look here at the numbers, see who did what. It was Brandon Miller in his rookie season leading us in scoring. It's just beautiful. Tyrese Halliburton, Kristaps Porzingis, Ben Mathurin. So we don't even have one guy that averaged 20-plus points a game. We have a lot of guys doing a lot of different things. So I like this team a lot. You had Halliburton averaging a double-double. It is time for the playoffs. We have Miami here in round 1, as I mentioned. New point guard in Trey Jones. Obviously, Hero, Butler. He still can't find an upgrade at the power forward spot, but for me, this is still a really good team. And they, in terms of playoff performers, they definitely have the best one in Jimmy Butler. And we are down 3-0. Wow. Our lack of experience is definitely showing a bit right now, and we end up losing in 6 games to the 6th seed Miami Heat. So, not the way we wanted year 1 to end ultimately, but still a really, really fun first season. Oh, Timberwolves. I just did a Timberwolves rebuild earlier today, but you guys saw it yesterday. And, yeah, same thing happened. We won 1 in year 1. Anthony Edwards, holy shit. All right, time for offseason number 2. There's some great groundwork that's been laid at this point. In terms of major moves we could make, I don't know if there's anything major coming. That Portland pick, I don't know exactly if... Did I trade for that, or is that ours before? I don't know if there's any protections. No, there was not. We actually have the 9th overall selection. I have no idea where that's from. Okay, staff signing. I'm going to give Rick Carlisle another year. It's tough losing in the first round as a 3 seed, but ultimately, it's the experience, I think, and, I'm still very comfortable with this team. All right, so we have 3 first-round selections, one of which is our own, and we have 2 second-round picks as well. I don't really know what I'd want to do with this team in terms of a major move. Again, I'm very comfortable with this starting lineup. I mean, if I take a look at this draft class, it's the guys that are basically always here. I mean, I've drafted a lot of these guys before, and I think maybe one of them could be a good bench piece for me. I think potentially a replacement for Buddy Hield is on the table. Maybe a new backup power forward. I think these are all options, potentially even new backup shooting guards. So I'm probably going to... What pick do we have? We have, 9? Is that it? Jesus fucking Christ. 9th overall pick? Yes, we do. We also have 15, 26. And you know what? Let me try to move up maybe to pick number 6. Who is the 6th overall selection right now? It is going to be the Grizzlies actually have it. Wow, that's via the Warriors. Let's take a look over to Memphis. See if maybe they're willing to do something for number 6. I mean, I do 9. This will definitely go through at some point. Just take it. I don't want any of these picks. Take it. Thank you. All right, so we now have the 6th overall pick. Maybe we can get a little bit of a better player than we would have gotten at 9, potentially. Let's look at the summaries so far. Holland, Zachary Riziker? I don't know. Isaiah Collier, Ian Jackson, and Justin Edwards, which means Matas Buzelis is here, and he's somebody that progresses very, very well. He can come in, either be my new backup shooting guard or small forward. He's going to be my pick right here at number 6. So welcome to the team. He's going to be a backup 100% no matter what, but he does progress very, very well, and he is a 77 overall. So everybody's coming back. Jalen Smith declines his player option. No surprise there, so he will enter free agency. Speaking of free agents, this is my number 1 priority this offseason, getting Tyrese Halliburton re-signed because I cannot risk letting him go. So I will wait and give him a real contract. I will re-sign Buddy Hield because I think I'd rather keep Buddy. Even though he is 31, I think I'd rather go out and maybe replace Duarte with Matas Buzelis. I really think I would. And then I do like Jalen Smith quite a bit. He's going to remain my backup power forward. So we got our 2 guys back that we wanted to. Obviously, Halliburton is going to be taking us one more day, and now we will give him a real offer. He has 3 real offers, but yeah, I'm just going to pay the man his money, and he will be coming back here as planned. All right, cool. So at this point in time, I think Chris Duarte is ultimately expendable. He's 27 years old, just finished up his 3rd season, so... for me, there's not a lot of room for growth right there, and I do want to get Matas Buzelis some serious minutes and only 19 years old. So we're going to make a move right now, just acquire a draft pick, and that's going to really be the only trade we make this offseason, I think. I don't want to make another home run trade and try to get another star, at least not yet, until we do see how next season goes. So this is our pick this year for a Houston pick and a Clippers pick. Yeah, 10 times out of 10. Okay, we're all set now. We have our 10 guys moving forward. This is a great-looking team. I like it a lot. I'll see you guys at the start of year 2. We've arrived at the start of year 2 for us here in Indiana. We didn't make a ton of major moves this offseason. But this team is progressing quite nicely, and I honestly am very happy with how things are looking right now. We were a 3 seed last year. We want to go a little bit further this year for sure, and I think this group has the talent to do it. It's Tyrese Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin, Brandon Miller, Kristaps Porzingis, and Miles Turner. The bench unit, Andrew Nembhard. I am playing Matas Buzelis at 17 minutes a night, even though he's not our second highest overall coming off the bench. I want to develop him as much as possible. Followed by Buddy Hield, Isaiah Jackson, and Jalen Smith. So let's see if this team can take us to the promised land. Year 2 ends, and we had a record of 63-19. It's our best record yet, and I am feeling pretty good right now. Nikola Jokic is your MVP. That's his 3rd MVP. I've said this before. It's been a minute since I've said it, but every time I see Jokic win an MVP in one of these videos, he has a different number than he wears right now. He's number 15 right now. He's currently wearing 16, as you can see, because Denver retired it for Carmelo Anthony. Melo was great in Denver. Prime Carmelo Anthony is a super fun basketball player to watch. You have no argument here, but you're not going to retire a number for Carmelo Anthony over a 3-time MVP. You're just not going to do it. DJ Wagner, Rookie of the Year. Tyler Hero, 6th Man of the Year. Victor Wembanyama, Depoy, and Anthony Black, Most Improved. And Rick Carlisle does take home Coach of the Year for us. So I like him. He's been doing a good job as our head coach so far. He led us to a 1 seed here in the Eastern Conference and the best record in the NBA. But ultimately, if I determine we come up short in the playoffs, might be the end of the line for him. Brandon Miller took an incredible second step in his second season. Kristaps Porzingis, Ben Mathurin, Halliburton. Scoring goes down a little bit, but ultimately we're developing some guys that are definitely scoring the ball a little bit. So we're in a really good place right now. Who we got in round 1? It's going to be the 8th-seeded Charlotte Hornets. Added OG Anunoby and Michael Porter Jr. Obviously drafted Victor Wembanyama. This is not an easy first-round matchup whatsoever. Obviously there are more challenging first-round matchups, but that was... we made it look easy, but it was not an easy one. New York here in round 2. Lonzo Ball, new home in New York. And you have Jalen Brunson coming off the bench. What is this game, man? We go down 1-0. We go down 2-0. Okay, that's not the start we're looking for. Way to bounce back on the road. Back home, we go up 3-2. And wow, we won 4 straight after losing the first 2. Interesting. All right, Cleveland here in the Eastern Conference Finals. Definitely one of my least favorite teams to play because they obviously have an incredible amount of talent, and 2K is a big fan of them. We're up 2-0 against them right now. We go up 2-1. They go up 3-1. Don't blow this. Thank you. We're in the NBA Finals, and what in the hell is Bradley Beal doing in Utah? What in the hell? All right, D'Lo's in Utah. Obviously, you saw Beal. Markkanen's still here. You drafted Taylor Hendricks, Walker Kessler. You got Sexton, Naz Reid, and Kevon Looney off your bench. Interesting. This would probably be the least watched NBA Finals in history, but I don't know. We're up 3-1, and we do end up winning in 5. Brandon Miller at age 22 is your Finals MVP. He's a stud. All right, it is officially time for offseason number 3. I mean, obviously, we just had an incredible season, resulted in a championship. And, yeah, it'd be pretty tough not to feel pretty good right now. Warriors end up with the number 1 overall pick, which is a nightmare in hell, especially if you still have Steph Curry there. Take a look at staff signing. Carlisle not going anywhere. He proved that he belongs here as our head coach, and he will remain in that spot. In terms of draft picks, we do not have our first. We have a second, but you know what? Why not? We'll draft somebody. Whoever has the coolest name, I'm picking him here at number 30, the Mr. Irrelevant pick of the NBA, if you will. Okay, Cam Scott. That's a pretty boring name. I feel like Jordan Vick. Yeah. Christian Reeves. Any really? Oh my God. What is that? That's an awesome haircut. Nate Sasser. There's got to be somebody here with a cool name. Bryce Grimes. That's a cool name. Darius Cannon. I kind of like that. He's overall's an F, though. I don't know. I'm wasting a lot of time on this for a guy that's not going to... Oh, my God. Two-door Constantine? Yep. I have no idea what his overall is going to be, but I'm signing him to a roster. He's a 40 overall. I don't care. He's also 40 years old. Two-door. Welcome to the team, bro. Oh, my God. Miller, Mather, and Nembhard all coming back, obviously. That's hilarious. We have a 40-year-old rookie. Isaiah Jackson will get a qualifying offer. In terms of free agency, I don't think we have any major... Oh, wait, yes, we do. Miles Turner, somebody I definitely want to get back. And then Isaiah Jackson, he's a decent backup center. He's only 23. I'll bring him back as well. All right, that is basically going to be it for now. I think at this point in time, just because I don't like leaving teams identical for multiple years, you guys know that. I think there's a potential to maybe go ahead and move on from Buddy Hield or maybe even Jalen Smith. I don't know exactly which one it would be. I mean, if I look at offers for like Buddy Hield and I do 2 first-round picks, what are my options? I mean, I'm not just gonna give them up for. I'm a big AJ Griffin fan. Could definitely take a flyer on him. Cameron Whitmore's here. If you give up our boy Tudor, though. Yeah, I'm going to take Cameron Whitmore. We also going to get Jalen Noel. So what I'm actually going to do is, I know that's probably, in terms of the value of those draft picks, it's probably not a great trade, but I'm actually fine with that. And then, you know what, let's do Whitmore. Not Whitmore. We're going to do Jalen Noel, Jalen Smith in a first. And then Monte Morris is interesting. I don't really need a point guard, but he's an option. Jeremy Grant, that's the one move I'm going to do. Welcome to the team. All right, we have our guys moving forward. This is a beautiful team. I will see you guys at the start of the third and final season. Fresh off of a championship, we are here for the start of the third and final season in Indiana. I'm feeling pretty good right now, and why wouldn't I be? I mean, we just won it all last year, and this team has developed. We've added some new pieces. It's beautiful. It's Tyrese Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin, Brandon Miller, Kristaps Porzingis, and Miles Turner. The bench unit, Andrew Nembhard, Ventas Buzelis, Cameron Whitmore, Jeremy Grant, and I almost said Ian Jackson. Not Ian Jackson, Isaiah Jackson. What a team. I want another championship. Year 3 ends, and Victor Wembanyama finally does get an MVP. It feels weird saying finally, but, you know, it's a weird time whenever he doesn't win one in a video because he's that good. I didn't see our record for full transparency. I was scrolling through Twitter mindlessly. Basala Bagyoka is your Rookie of the Year. The Warriors just had the first overall pick and selected him. He had a good rookie season. Amon Thompson, 6th Man of the Year in D.C. Victor Wembanyama also wins Depoy. Ousmane Dieng, Most Improved. We go 69-13, Rick Carlisle, Coach of the Year. All right, that's awesome. Good way to end the video. Obviously, we want another championship, though. In terms of the numbers on the year, again, it doesn't matter. Just to be honest with you, as long as we're winning games, I don't care. All right, round 1, the New York Knicks. They were in the second round last year, and they finally get Donovan Mitchell. They also have Brandon Ingram. Wow. That is an interesting-looking New York Knicks team. Definitely have made some changes, and there's an incredible amount of talent there. Not a fun first-round matchup, but we sweep them. Okay. Detroit Pistons here in round 2. Jalen Brunson is now here. And Giannis is here. But they don't have Cade anymore. Okay. Well, things are going very interesting in this video so far, and we're up 3-0 on them. Okay. And the 2-seeded Charlotte Hornets here, who, yeah, I mean, we beat them, what, round 1 last year, I think? Did I see OG Anunoby off the bench and Gary Trent Jr. starting over him? I don't know. And then finally, we're in the NBA Finals, and we are going to be taking on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the rest of the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'd love to get some gameplay here, so let's hopefully end up winning this one. I'd like to win 2 championships today. We're up 2-1 right now. We go up 3-1, and hopefully we can close them out on our home floor here in Game 5. And unless we blow this very, very big lead, it appears we will be doing that. So, yeah, man, let's hop in, get a little bit of gameplay here with this, I almost said Hornets, with this Pacers team. We're up 33 right now, on the verge of gentlemen sweeping the Oklahoma City Thunder here in Game 5. And, yeah, man, I'm feeling pretty good right now. I think what I always do is I talk about the actual team I'm rebuilding in real life, not in this game at this point in time whenever I get gameplay. But, yeah, man, for me, the Pacers are a team that have some good depth, and they have some underrated depth in my opinion. They're always that team that's like, you're like, yeah, it's gonna be a win for you, but it's like you're a real pain in the ass to play against. That's how I always felt like when my Celtics played them. I know, like, obviously we're a much better team, but like they're good and they're resilient, and they're a young group for the most part, and honestly, man, I give them a lot of credit. So I'm excited to see what they do down the line. This is obviously not a great free agency class for them. And here in 2K, it obviously works, but I don't know how I would like the fit, hypothetically, obviously, of a Miles Turner playing next to a Kristaps Porzingis in today's NBA. I'm not saying there's been any rumors whatsoever or anything like that. I'm just talking strictly off the move we just made. So, obviously in the game it works, but in real life I don't think I like that fit very much. But, you know, they just got to keep doing what they've been doing. And I honestly think things will go to plan. Tyrese Halliburton is a star. He really is. I truly do believe that. And honestly, they keep building up. Maybe they'll get really lucky in the lottery this year or something like that. I don't know if they'll be lucky enough to get Victor Wembanyama, but you never know what ends up happening. Brandon Miller is going to be a good player. I imagine he had a tough, March Madness run, but I really do think that he'll be a good player, and this is going to be a good team. I hope they can ultimately make the right moves, because it's probably not been easy, if I had to guess, to be an Indiana Pacers basketball fan in recent years. I mean, I feel like you've just done so many things that really never ended up kind of working out the way you probably hoped it would. So I hope this team has success down the line. I think they ultimately deserve it. I know their fan base deserves it. I mean, Indiana basically breathes basketball. And yeah, I'm excited to see what they do down the line. But let's close them out here. We've built a hell of a team, and I've had a ton of fun in this one. We are on our way to win a second straight championship. Oh, I thought I had that. On our way to win a second straight championship, and I'm feeling pretty good right now. So let's just close them out. Miles Turner, I'm very happy I was able to keep him and get him a couple rings today's video. Oh, whoa. He didn't even look. He just went up and dunked it. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's really not too much else to talk about. So I've gone over, or I did at the beginning of this video, some of the teams that I have left to rebuild. In terms of those teams, obviously you saw yesterday that I went ahead, I did a Timberwolves rebuild, and you're seeing today that I saw a Pacers rebuild. So left to do is the Wizards, the Spurs, and there's one more. It's the Atlanta Hawks. So I'll get to all of them for the rest of this week, I promise. I will be pre-recording some other videos. I have something to do on Thursday, so I actually can't record a video. So yeah, you're getting 2 pre-recorded videos this week, but nonetheless, really fun team. All right, we'll do one more defensive possession. It's not going to let me simulate to the finals MVP, so we'll just kind of wrap up the video here. But I'm feeling good about this team, so just shoot. I don't care. And then, yeah, wow, he still missed. Halliburton, I want to give it to... Nope, that's Ben Mathurin. Jesus Christ. All right, Halliburton, give me a pick, Miles Turner. I want to pull up for 3 for the final possession. No way. No way. Oh, my God, he misses, but Miles Turner gets the putback. All right, I'll see. Is it going to let me sim to the finals MVP? Probably not if I had to take a gander. See, this is what happens. This is what I'm talking about. So this is what it normally looks like, and then when you hit that, that's the spinning wheel of death. It never ends. So I had a ton of fun with this one, though. Hopefully you guys enjoyed as well. If you did, leave a like down below. That would obviously be awesome. Of course, if you guys are new around here, have not yet subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit that sub button. Stick around a while. We'd love to have you. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.